To the left of the steering column, there's the electronic parking brake here. And then here is the headlight switch. So you can turn them off, all the exterior lights, parking, headlights automatic, and then headlights on. Center button here is for the fog light. And I have a night video if you want to check it out. I show everything at night, including going down the road and stuff, headlights and all that. And then the dimmer switch for the interior gauges is here. There's also a telescoping steering column that lock in place here. I'm sitting in the driver's seat. I'm 6 feet tall, and I have the driver's seat all the way back and all the way down to show you the potential legroom here. And it's looking really good. Lots of room. I actually have to lift it up a little bit with a height adjustment here. It's a manual height adjustment, so you just kind of lift it up, push it down when you want to go down. But yeah, it seems to sink a little bit too low for me because I really need to have the view to look over the hood and all that stuff. But yeah, it's pretty comfortable seats. It's pretty interesting that they are marine grade vinyl. So it's like a waterproof vinyl. And there's a lot of things that are waterproof in this vehicle, and I'll kind of point those out as we go around. First of all, the steering wheel is very comfortable. It's soft, it's leather wrapped, feels good. Ford always does a good job usually with their steering wheels. And it's pretty basic. Like, there's not a lot of, thrills here. We have some gray, and then we have some black, It does have the Bronco there in the middle, which looks pretty cool. But right here, all these buttons are enclosed with like this cover, like this rubber cover over top of the buttons to protect them from water. So apparently you can have the top off and drive in the rain, apparently, the way that this is designed. So the cruise control over here is pretty straightforward. It doesn't have the adaptive cruise control, just regular cruise control and a lane departure warning system, basically. And then the volume for the radios here. Here on the right side, you do have the ability to change through the tracks, answer and hang up for your phone, which is paired to the Bluetooth system. Voice recognition is here as well. Now you have an up and down back like a little menu button right here as well. I'll get to that in a second. So the turn signal is also the windshield wiper control there as well. And the rear wipers are controlled on this inner portion, and then the outer portion is the front windshield wipers. And then you press in here for the washer. Now if the windshield wipers are turned on and you put it in reverse, it'll automatically turn on the rear wiper. Okay, so the gauge here is basically very simple looking. You have the speedometer, digital speedometer here, and then the engine coolant temperature, and most things are on this little screen right here. So the fuel gauge is on this little screen, and you can have some different information. Right now it's showing which direction the vehicle is facing, the outside temperature, stuff like that, what gear you're in here at the bottom. So it's not overly complex, the screen. So using these buttons over here, we can change what we want to see if we need to. So this is kind of like a menu button. We can also scroll up and down and hit OK, and there's a back button here. Let's just go ahead and scroll up and down. So you can see there's additional information that kind of pops up here. We were in this COM screen, which basically shows nothing. When you scroll down, these are customizable, by the way. Fuel economy, trip. This is showing the angle of the steering and the pitch and roll. So as I turn the steering wheel, this little number right there is going to show the degrees in which the wheels are turned, and then whether you're nose diving or going uphill, up and downhill, and then the angle left and right. So off-roading, this is handy to keep an eye on in certain times. Scrolling down again is another angle of just the pitch and roll, but look at like a smaller view, more compact. Power distribution showing you the status of the four-wheel drive system. So if you're just in two-wheel drive, it's just going to show the rear wheels. Going down again, tire pressure, and then you can configure this view. For some reason, there's only a certain amount you can have. So you just check mark the ones you want, and then once you reach a certain point, then it won't allow you to add more. I'm not sure why. But you can see the COM screen, fuel economy. So all the ones that I've showed you are the ones that are checked. But you can see there's additional ones here as well, like seat belts, oil temperature, turbo boost, that kind of stuff, battery voltage. You can keep an eye on whatever you want to keep an eye on by selecting those. Now if you hit this menu button here, it's going to pop up here. And what we've been looking at is my view. But we can focus on different things. So if we want to go into trip and fuel, we can hit that and get different fuel economy. You can see what the status of the trip 1, trip 2, average speed, and the status of the auto start. Go to fuel economy so you can see that. So it's kind of another roundabout way of getting to other things. But my view is the one that's most convenient because you can set it up the way you want, and then you can scroll through and get the information that you want when you need it, basically. So I usually keep it on trip like that. So I can keep it on the miles per gallon, the miles driven, and the time. Alright, I like the way the start button here kind of looks like the headlights in a way. Has that style. Very stylish and functional design of the vehicle. So like these little vents have like a little rubber feel to them, texture to them when you move them. They have a cool kind of off-road style. These handles have a rubber texture. And up here is all enclosed with a, once again, rubber, like a cover over these buttons. So there's this little storage pocket right there. There's storage pockets here on the dash. And so this will be the front locking differential, the rear locking differential, a off-road turn assist switch there. This like engages the brake in the rear right or left. So if you really need to make a really sharp off-road turn, you can engage this. Traction control, you can turn it off. It's default on, so if you need to turn it off, if you need to spin tires or whatever, you can do that. And then four-way flashers are there. And once again, it's all enclosed, so there's no rain can get in there. It's very sealed up. And I'm sure that it doesn't look like this screen is sealed, but I'm sure behind all this plastic cover, there's some kind of sealing going on the way the rest of the vehicle is designed. Okay, so this screen right here, it has these different icons here at the bottom. And let's go here to the audio. You can change the sources here. AM, FM, satellite radio, Bluetooth audio. There's also wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. There's different phone connections here. Navigation. We can do searches here. Has a full keyboard on the screen. Different apps can be selected here. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto is right there. Then you have your different settings. Quite a bit of settings in here, and they kind of like go through a menus. The whole, separation of you click on one and there's more and more and more, basically. You have display, that kind of stuff. There's vehicle. Then you have features, driver assistance. Turn different things off here. This little side screen right here, you can scroll through it, get different information that you want. Some of it's very similar to the information that we have here. Now, if you're in the navigation map and you want that side to go away, you could just hit that and it makes that go away so you can focus on the map. So that's kind of a quick rundown of what the screen's all about. It does have the outside temperature, digital clock there, stuff like that. But it's fairly straightforward, easy to use system. Here's the volume for the radio, tune through the tracks. You can also change through tracks depending on what you're playing. So if you're tuning on the radio, you can do that. You can change to the next song on a list if you're playing off a device. Play and pause here as well. The idle stop, you can turn it off here. You can see it's off now. That's the off light. It has dual zone climate control. Driver, passenger, temperatures are there. And then where you want the air to blow, fan speed. So when we press that, it pops up here on the screen so you can give you an idea of what's going on. Recirculate the air. I like the way it has like a little Bronco shape to the recirculate the air button. Heated seats is 3-stage, high, medium, and low, and off for the driver and passenger. There's the fan speed, rear defroster, front defroster. When you turn on the rear defroster, it also turns on the heated side mirrors as well. So there is some USB ports down here. You notice it has a nice robust cover. USB-A, USB-C, This compartment is rubberized, and there's a little spot for water to drain out. So if we take this out, you know, it shows you this little indicator that water can drain out this hole, and then there's a little hole there for it to actually exit the vehicle. There's a rubberized handle here, and it has this little plate saying that the vehicle is designed and manufactured in Michigan. So here's the shifter. It's got a little American flag, Bronco, looking nice. Let's go ahead and put it in reverse. And when you put it in reverse, two things will happen. The parking sensors will active, and then be active, and then the screen here will pop up. The screen itself is huge, okay? But then you have the clarity, actually, of the camera, which is actually pretty good. You can see some detail. I wish it was a little bit more stretched, like a little bit wide, so we can see left and right. But it does have the rear cross traffic alert for that. But still, you know, be nice to have a different view. This one doesn't have the 360 camera system. You'd have to get a higher trim for that. It does have the active guidelines, so as I turn the steering wheel, those little lines will move as well. But yeah, I really like the size and clarity and resolution is pretty good, especially up close of things behind you. There's neutral, drive, and then you can manually change the gears if you'd like. And then you can press this button right here to change and limit your high gear. And it'll show you what gear you're in here. So we're in manual 1, manual 2, and that's as high as it'll go right now. There's some cup holders here. There's rubber on the bottom. Okay, so this is the drive modes basically. So as I turn this, you have normal, eco, sport, slippery, mud ruts, sand, and that's it. So let's go back to normal, and there's normal. There's also four-wheel drive controls here. So you have two-wheel drive high, four-wheel drive low, and four-wheel drive automatic. So if you're just kind of cruising on just a regular trail or something, four-wheel drive automatic could be pretty good, because that way you don't really have to focus on, if you're not really in super bad conditions, you know, the four-wheel drive automatic should be fine for most just trails, just kind of cruise along, and you're not, you know, like doing severe rock climbing or deep mud or anything like that. So this is where the power window switches are. Remember, they were not in the door, and they're all automatic, one touch. So good. It's raining right now, but I'll go ahead and roll this window down so you can see how fast it goes. Oh yeah. Then you can lock the windows here, and then this is how you adjust the side mirrors. You just pick a side and then adjust it with this little pad right here. You notice this is all encased in that rubber protective material as well. These are kind of angled down, so there's not going to be any water, too much water puddling up in here. This is a very soft armrest, kind of rubbery soft and comfortable, and it has that same material that you find on the seats. And when you lift it up, it kind of slats back down a little bit, but once you get it to a certain point, it stays in place. There's a little storage compartment here, and there's a place for wires to go in and out of this compartment because it has a 12-volt power supply. Now, I put my business cards down at the bottom so you can see, because it's kind of just a black abyss without something down there to look at. It just has a felt liner down there that's removable, but I would change that with a lighter color one so you can see in there a little bit better, because there's no light or anything. Okay, so it does have auto dim rearview mirror. It's actually auto dimming now because I have the shade over the light sensor. So right in here there is some lights. So you have that light, all the interior lights, this side only. You can also have it with when the door opens up, turns on the lights like that, or if you press this button right here, it'll turn that feature off. There's also these little lights right here that do a really good job of just illuminating the center area right here at nighttime, so you can kind of see what's going on. I do have a night video of a different trim of the Bronco. It's very similar though, if you want to check it out. And then there's a place to put your safety glasses, sunglasses or whatever you want in here. And it feels like a soft plastic. It's kind of interesting. I can understand why they don't put like a felt in this particular compartment, because it could potentially get wet or whatever. Okay, so these panels up here. So it is a complete hardtop, and you can remove sections at a time. So it's like T-tops up here, where you unlatch this, turn these latches, and you can remove these front two sections and then leave the rest in place if you like. Or you can continue and do this center section here, or you can continue and take off the back part as well. So yeah, pretty cool that you can take these off and then drive in the rain, having it all sealed up like this. And then there's drains in the floor. So like I showed you before, if you need to, drain any water that gets in the vehicle, you can actually hose it out and stuff. That's pretty interesting. So the visor has that same vinyl type material, smooth, and it feels really good. A little clip there, mirror, lights. It also extends out here into pretty decent coverage, but there's a space right here. It doesn't help, but it's not too bad. It's pretty good size. Looking at the visibility there in the back, there's lots of glass, lots of windows to look out. So directly behind the vehicle, if the headrest's getting a little bit in the way, but it's really not too bad. It depends on how much cargo space and all that stuff you pile up in here. Like cargo and passengers and all that stuff back here. But as it is right now, it's not really that bad. You can see over your shoulder fine, out the rear view mirror fine. If it had a rear view camera, it would be actually better, but as it is. And actually, this vehicle, since it's an off-road focused vehicle, I would definitely recommend they were at least have the 360 camera system, or the ability to look around the vehicle with the cameras. Because this is available in the higher trims, but if all of them had it, it would be better. Or at least you can add it as a package or something, because that does, if you're actually off-roading and being able to see all the way around the vehicle, right up to the wheels and everything, that would be ideal.